What's going on, all my Digi peeps? Hope you're all having a great day. It's Wednesday, and you know what that means. The Book of Boba Fett. We are now up to episode 4, and you know me. I just finished the latest episode, and I could not wait to come on here and discuss and talk about what I just watched. Now, without any further delay, let's get into episode 4 entitled The Gathering Storm. Opening up with the man, the myth, the legend, and his flashbacks as he heals within his Bacta tank. Boba is looking for a way into Jabba's palace, which at the current time is being run by Bib Fortuna. Say what you will, but the man has slid onto one very powerful throne, and a weakened Boba cannot find a safe way to infiltrate the fortress with an unknown amount of armed guards. It is not until Boba and his bantha are held up on camp that they notice 2 flares shoot up into the air, and this was parallel with the Mandalorian episode 5, The Gunslinger. This episode of course had Mando helping out a new young bounty hunter by the name of Toro Calican. Together they took on Fennec Shand using flares to disrupt the scope of her sniper rifle in order to get close and shoot her. A state Boba Fett finds her and is quick to take her to a mod shop on the outskirts of Mos Eisley, which is where she receives her mechanical midriff. It is here we see the mechanically enhanced individuals from the previous episode, the streets of Mos Espa. I wanted to touch upon this before moving on. It has been a week since the introduction of these characters in the Book of Boba Fett, and the negative response they've received has been nothing short of constant and very loud from the Star Wars community. Believe me or not, the first time I saw them on their colourful speedsters, the first thing to go through my mind, as well as I'm sure you've seen a lot of other people, was that of the Power Rangers, which was trending after this episode aired. I mean, even as Boba made his way into the mod shop, I must admit the techno music really took me out of the scene. I understand these characters, or these types of characters, have not been seen outside of Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, Darth Maul and General Grievous, mechanically enhanced individuals who 75% of did not have a choice, like these people did. Now, I am not advocating for you to like this addition to the show. Far from it. Like I said, there are some negative parts which I took from these scenes involving the gang Boba has taken in. However, I'm going to try my best to enjoy what I'm getting in terms of this show building around the main character of Boba Fett. This is his new family. These are the people he has helping him in his new chapter of his life, and so far I'm looking forward to the build-up we're getting each and every week. This is just my 2 cents on the matter. Like them, hate them, keep the discussion going in my opinion. It's what makes Star Wars great. Anyway, back into the story. Boba is right by Fennec's side, who is skeptical at first to say the least. Skeptical that this man is who he says he is, skeptical that he doesn't want to take her in for a bounty, skeptical that he just wants her help, which she provides after finding out that Boba is after his ship, the Slave One. I will say that again. Boba Fett's ship, the Slave One. That is its name. That will always be its name. Boba Fett pilots, has lost, and is looking to reclaim the Slave One. A task Fennec is looking to help with in order to repay her debt to her saviour. Now, doing a quick Google search, I found Ming-Na Wen is 58 years old. This woman could kick my behind, your behind, and probably anyone's behind half her age without breaking a sweat. Watching her work is never short of amazing. It is not surprising she saved all of China from the Huns back in 1998. Of course, the pair collect the Slave One, and Boba offers to drop Fennec off, but she agrees to go along for the ride. A ride that involves Boba completely decimating the Speeder gang that took out the Tuskens, and a visit to the Sarlacc pit in order to retrieve his Beskar armor. Going into my highlight for the episode, Boba flies the Slave One closer and closer to the mouth of the Sarlacc, while I held my breath and worried if I made a peep, the thing would wake up. Now, I have a friend who devours horror movies and lets me in on the tropes, so I should have known better that this was coming. Inevitably, the Sarlacc wakes up and it latches onto the ship, pulling it closer and closer inside its mouth. With some quick thinking from Fennec, she is able to get off a sonic charge, which the Sarlacc eats, and watching this bomb go off and cut the ground in two was just awesome. There is nothing like watching one of these bombs go off. Still not done, Boba goes down into the dead Sarlacc and is unable to find his armour, only taking away scars from the acid, which was a nice callback to the fact that Boba is in constant need of a Bacta tank in the series, something even Fennec comments on. The pair then sit under the stars, and we get to see a glimpse of the new Boba Fett we are dealing with, and again, this is something I wanted to touch upon from previous episodes. People have been calling Boba soft. When he was attacked by Black Krrsantan and runs out after him, he comes out in a robe instead of his armour, ready to go all out. This is unlike Boba Fett, who is and is always ready for battle. However, it is in this talk with Fennec that we see the new Boba Fett this series is trying to explore. Boba is older. Boba is wiser. He has been working for idiots, as he puts it, for what? 3 decades now? Ever since he was a small boy and lost his father, who, let's be honest, was probably not the most stable role model. He is smarter than he looks, and he is sick of all the senseless death. A point driven home by the fact that he was taken in and given a family with these Tusken Raiders. This small bit of paradise that he had with them was cut way too short, and it is a feeling he wants again. He wants a loyal family, not targets anymore. It is not his job to take on giant killer Wookiees. Furthermore, he does not want to take on giant killer Wookiees. A point I think is proven given that after he beat Black Krrsantan, he let him go. He was not looking for a fight and understood more so than anyone in the galaxy that he was just conducting business. This man is not the Boba Fett, feared bounty hunter and killer we have from decades of Star Wars media, from movies to TV shows, comics, novels, cartoons, and countless other forms of entertainment from both the canon and Legends universe. This Boba is one who is looking to retire. He is looking for an out. He is still a fighter, given that he is trying to become a crime lord. However, he will fight when he needs to. Kinda like the Jedi in my opinion. Sort of a last resort. His bloodthirsty nature was left back in the Sarlacc pit, and if you ask me, I for one am enjoying this dive into the new man who is stripped down and left for dead on the sands of Tatooine, into the man he is becoming in this series. Again, that's just my 2 cents on the matter. Okay, so that is that. Boba is right where we found him in The Mandalorian Season 2, and as he gets out of the Bacta tank, his protocol droid congratulates him on being 100% healed. I think that is the last of the Bacta tank and the last of the flashbacks for this series, and time to get into his role as the new Crime Lord of Tatooine. He heads to the sanctuary where Black Krrsantan is sitting and stewing, watching a table of Trandoshans gamble, and he seems to have some steam to blow off because he gets up and basically mauls each and every one of them. This was some display as he tossed them around like they weighed nothing. Then a third party gets involved in the brawl, Garsa herself, who Boba stood by to watch as she talked down the feared Wookiee legend. Someone who could not be bothered to kill any of these men, who would have their debt wiped clean if they let this customer go. I really hope this is not the last time we see Garsa. She has this presence about herself, and again, this smartest person in the room type of quality that just draws you to the screen. She's unfortunately unsuccessful as Black Chrysanthemum rips the arm off a Trandoshan and pays off his debt before exiting, but is quickly caught up to by Boba, who asks if he is looking for a job. One he clearly accepts as he joins Boba at his table meeting with all of the crime bosses of Mos Espa. Boba is looking for their loyalty, but the group are curious as to why they should follow him and why they shouldn't just kill him then and there. A tense question interrupted by Boba's Rancor, who is right beneath the table they are sitting at. Just a great power play. I loved it. Unable to get them on side, Boba asks the men at the very least to remain neutral as he deals with the Pike Syndicate alone. Terms that they all agree with and leave Boba to reflect on the upcoming battle. Now, I am going to say it. This episode was great. I will probably be wrong and have a myriad of reviews and videos come out about just how bad episode 4 really was, but I enjoyed it. The story progressed nicely. I enjoyed the action we got in this episode, and I'm excited to see next week's episode as we are done with the flashbacks and are going to start the build to one explosive fight between Boba and his new family and the Pikes, who seem to have aligned with the mayor. Also, the fact that Black Chrysanthemum is now back in the mix and working with Boba, that is just going to be awesome in my opinion. Now, if you are still here listening to my video, thank you. Bit of a long one covering not only this episode, but some topics I feel would be good to touch upon and my opinion on some controversies brought up from this series. It is not perfect, not by any stretch of the imagination, but overall I am really liking what has been put out for the public as a whole. Anyway, I would love to hear what you think. What's your thoughts on the Book of Boba Fett series so far? Are you excited for the final episodes? Let me know in the comments down below. Like and subscribe and all that good stuff, and if you want, share this video to a friend. I would love for these reviews to get out there and pull in more people into the discussion. Hope you all enjoyed my thoughts, and I will catch you all in the next one.